Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Legion Lads. I am your host, JR, and today we got Jose and Rob and a special guest, John. How's it going, guys?
How come I'm not a
How's it going?
special guest?
Because you're always on, man. I'm trying to see your face.
I haven't been on in like 3 weeks,
That's true.
Like,
That's true. We're giving
I
you
should
a
get
little
special
shoulder.
guest status.
No. We expect you to be on. When you're not on, we just like get grudges.
Okay, grudges.
He's a completely different person with that new haircut, man.
Whoa, you don't
what?
gotta call me out like that.
Yeah, I didn't recognize
Pretty
it.
good though,
Over there
right?
Killing it. You're killing it with the ladies out there. That's why you
There
have
you
it
go.
on. That's what it is.
No, I'd like to thank Spirit Airline for missing the last podcast. I was supposed to be home in time, and then my flight got canceled. So that was fun.
Oh, that's what they all say, Rob. We know you're on a date.
There goes our
You
first
just tell
sponsorship.
us.
Thanks, Rob.
You know what? For anyone who's cheap like me, it's not worth it. Just buy from a normal airline because when they cancel your flight, they'll at least help you get home. Spirit Airlines just gave me a.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say they gave me a middle finger. So
The last flight I think I flew was Alaskan Airlines, and that shit, I thought I was gonna die. It was all shaking and vibrating. I was like, oh my God, get me out of here.
I had a good experience when I flew Alaskan.
Not that last one. I haven't flown since. So that's how
Really?
bad it was. Yeah. I was praying to God and everything. Don't take me now. My son's over there like, hey.
Oh, your son was on the flight? Oh
Yeah.
shit.
It's terrifying.
Yikes.
Um,
Yeah, I can definitely see that.
Yeah. So, all right, boys. Today we're gonna cover Republic, all the new stuff that happened. But before we do that, Rob, you got any league announcements for us?
Yeah, the league is up and running. Round 1 has been posted for all you locals. Please get your games in. I condensed both leagues together. We just didn't quite have at some point JR said he had like 3 coworkers that wanted to play and then they never showed up. So, we only had enough people for one league, but it's a 12-person league, so it's nothing to scoff at.
I was thinking about it. It's like you took 2 people from the other league and put in our league.
Right.
I had one of the other guys left, and then the people that I thought were gonna join. Sometimes they just like, yeah, I'll play and everything.
And then they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay, all right, well.
Yeah, it's a 12-person league. It's fine.
Yeah.
But so that means that basically it's going to go until the end of the year, which is fine. I kind of don't want to do 3 a year, so 2 a year is great. And on that note, I got us some. Oh, I didn't get us. I was given some extra promos to hand out. I'll probably hand them out early rather than later because all the promos I got were the promos from GTs. And if we're all going to LVO in January and I hand them out in January, it's kind of like at that point it's kind of too late. So I'll probably hand them out halfway through the season as spot prizes or something. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I have some extra prizes.
I'm still waiting for my trophy from Grayson. Where's that at?
Well, I'm as of this afternoon, I'm planning on going this weekend. So to the Bakersfield tournament. So hopefully I can pick them up then.
Right on.
And this is when I go there and there's no trophy, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I never printed them."
F that guy.
He's like, oh, JR won? Nah, he don't need a trophy. Forget that.
True. I mean, he's not wrong. So
You have way too many already, Jay.
That's true.
yeah, you don't need it.
Valid point.
The blood of the community is stained on all those trophies. Hope you're happy about that.
I don't know if you guys watch Evo or anything, but there's a guy that he plays Mortal Kombat named Sonic Fox. He's so good at the game that they started doing tournaments online. They banned him from tournaments from winning all the time. He was not allowed to play in those tournaments.
Wow.
I was like, that sucks, but I get it. They want other people to win because when people win, they play the game more. So
there you go.
What you're saying is we got to ban you from the community.
probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
we just need to get good, okay?
I just feel
is this a bunch of foreshadowing?
right?
I'm not banning Jared from anything. Just get good for it.
Yeah,
it goes to myself more than anyone.
All I know is I type in there hey, anybody want to play a game? Crickets. I'm like, all right.
Well, I mean, I do the same thing, and it's crickets. So I try not to take it personally. Maybe you should, and I shouldn't. So
I know John and Jose got to play a game. When's that happening?
Oh,
It's I have to see when I have time.
if you quit this league, by the way, and Toby doesn't, I'm never gonna let you hear the end of it.
Oh no, dude. So prior to the change of 2 or 3.0, and you were talking about the bounty hunter stuff, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna do this. I'm probably just gonna do MCP, like the bounty hunter thing.
Whoa. I
Yeah,
was gonna be sick.
I was not, nah, dude.
Hater.
I was excited.
So
for it.
no, it's not even because of that. It's just because I ran before you were around. I ran a 16-player bounty event, and people just like chalk the rules, and I couldn't really argue because I understood where their points were, and it made for not good experiences for a lot of people. And so after that, I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna do anything with any type of bounty manipulation again. Like it was
Really? Wow.
wild. Yeah. So it was not because of you, just because I was like, I don't want to. I didn't have fun TOing that, and I don't think I'm gonna have fun playing that. So
You're just conflating two things, but that's okay.
Honestly, yeah, I'm actually excited because we all are kind of on the same playing field with these new rules and everything. Like we're not used to how the game's played, and so like there's consistent mistakes. I know I've been making a lot of mistakes because it's so easy to just
cheating,
forget
just call it
shit.
cheating.
Well, I mean, I'm helping my opponent when I'm just like, oh, I can coordinate at range 2 now. Oh, my bad, I totally forgot about that.
You can
Hey,
coordinate
so
at
that
range 2?
comes.
Yeah, coordinates range 2.
So then that
No.
comms thing I put on
sorry,
my AT.
sorry. I think it's I'm thinking of spotter. Spotter and
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Coordinate's
Yeah.
still one, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
coordinate is
coordinate's
still
still one.
one.
You said coordinates 2, and I'm just like, so that
Wait, yeah,
that
you guys
comm
are
I put on
right,
my
coordinate,
AAT
right.
is useless.
Oh man, that would be spicy.
I think
Jeez.
coordinate should be range 5. I'm just saying that now.
No, don't. Nobody let this man balance.
Noah, you're dodging me. We need to play our game. I'm trying to get my game in, and you are not dodging me, sir. Let's get this game over with.
And we know Noah listens too, so
Yeah.
I think it's the whole like he doesn't want to lose again, probably.
Mhm.
well, I mean, realistically, you two probably shouldn't be playing in round 1. I should have noticed that and just fixed it, but I didn't notice it. So
It's just another
Yo,
game. Like
manipulation already, Rob.
you know what it is? It's because my cousin's been playing games with me since we've been little, and like he knows how competitive I am, and it must be daunting to play me when it's just like he wants to have a good time, but I'm just on top of the game. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Well, and the last time that he played you, I guess he won, so that's why he doesn't want to break the streak.
Oh no, he
Well,
lost the last time they
Yeah,
played.
we
now
played at the Vet Fest on the last day.
Well, yeah. Beside that, like he was like, I don't want to break my streak.
It was the prior one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Noah's gonna win, but
you never know. I'm just throwing things together to see if they work. You know, I mean,
I believe in Noah. Like
John can now say he's beating me.
Nah,
Whoa,
I didn't
nice.
beat you.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can. No. Those arcs, man, arcs just hit so hard now. Just a naked squad.
Yeah.
So it's just you never know. I was just like 4 arcs, like that's not going to be that great, right? No, especially with all the aims you get from moving and then scouting.
yeah,
it's
spicy.
It is spicy.
So yeah. Anyways, guys, get your games in. Exhibition points are given out, which is awesome of Rob to do. And
so you have exhibition games. There's playing at Legends gets you extra points. Or at build, so going to build night, going to game night gets you extra points. And then I'm gonna assume this is for everyone, but I bought a Legion thing today at Legends, and Roman gave me a 15% discount for being in the league. So I think that's for everyone. I assume if you show up and there's no discount, I actually am not affiliated.
he's gonna talk to you.
So go to Roman, not me.
Second sponsor.
He's gonna talk to you after the podcast. Like that was only for you.
We lost Spirit, now we lost Legends.
Yeah.
So losing us all our sponsors that we don't have today, but that's
okay. My question for the exhibition points: if I keep playing John, does that count, or is it just like?
No, it's in the rules. It's one per person.
One per person. Okay. Well,
yep.
All right. Fair enough.
Look at me.
And
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
So our very own local Rob was
We
judging.
can't just go back to me. It's got to be something we talk about.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest. You're the only active player, in my opinion, that's local that is like consistently going to events, keeping up on stuff. We got the league because of you, so it's only natural that you got the inside scoop on a lot of stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah. Inside scoop. I talked to the person in charge of AMG. We're gonna lose our third sponsor. Game is dead. They're dropping the game. It's over. No, I'm kidding, of course. What were you gonna say, John?
I was gonna say, I guess we should just stop podcasting and
yeah.
I was like,
No.
I
Just
just
be done
literally
with it.
bought a bunch of dudes to make my squad twice as big.
Somebody at Gen Con was like, we listened to your pod, but this guy Jose's never played a game of the new Legion, so we just couldn't listen anymore. So.
Oh my god.
No, okay. I'm sorry.
You gotta get Jose. To get
you ragged on me so many times when I wasn't on the pod, and I listened.
It wasn't just me. It wasn't just me.
Jose's like, I couldn't say this if Rob was here, and I'm like, no, you couldn't have said that because.
But it wasn't just me. Don't do that. Nah.
You know what's funny?
You have a whole hour and a half of Nick just going in. Gotta get
Well,
Nick
that
back
was in
too.
his contract, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what's funny is at the height of me and Jose playing this game, I would go to his house once a week for like 3 months straight, just playing Legion. And now it's just like I could barely get any games in with him.
I can barely get any games in with anybody, man. I'm over here like just I don't know. I having 2 leagues was an issue because I did MCP. So now Rob's league is like every 2 weeks, and then Nick's league's every 2 weeks, and it's like I got a scheduled game with John. I got a scheduled game with Josh, and it's like I didn't think this through. I did not think this through at all.
Yeah.
There's too much hobbies, that's for sure.
Well, in a lot of the other leagues locally, not locally, but like within the state are like once a week. And I'm like, whew, that's spicy.
Yeah.
But anyways, Gen Con, awesome time. I flew out not last Monday, but the Monday prior. So had to miss that pod. Had an overnight layover in Vegas, which was not in Vegas, in Dallas, which was not as bad as it could have been. I made some friends. One of them called us the Breakfast Club of it was like the Breakfast Club of being stuck in an airport. So that was a good time. We all sat at a bar until the bartender left, and then stayed until the morning. So
Damn.
Oh wow.
all the booze was locked, so it's not like we kept drinking. But yeah, so I got to Gen Con, and for those that have never been to any sort of massive event, this is my first real big event. And I went to Worlds last year. That's a big event. This was a big event, like a massive, huge, like this is the largest thing I've ever been to, right? There were, I think they put online that there were 70,000 attendees, sold out all 4 days. It takes up the entirety of the Indianapolis Convention Center, which is connected to, by tunnel, the Indianapolis Colts Stadium, Lucas Oil Stadium, which was also entirely taken up by this event. And also, apparently, I never saw this, but you can also go by other tunnels to the nearby hotels, and all of their conference rooms are being taken up by Gen Con. And
it's a giant board game convention, right?
It's a giant, and it's all board games.
I've always wanted to go.
It was surreal almost, just how many people were there for this. Which, I would not recommend it if you don't like being in confined spaces. If you're still worried about getting COVID, I would not go because there are a ton of people there. Nobody's masked.
That was the nerd stink.
Oh,
so funny story. I normally have no sense of smell because we live in Fresno and we're trapped in a giant bowl. Now, the first thing that I gained when I landed in Indianapolis, when I landed in Dallas, even by the time I got off that plane, I could smell again because I was breathing real fresh air, not great air.
Damn!
But I'm used to the gunk. Like our air is gunk. There's no better word. Like it just gunks up my whole system. So I had a sense of smell in Indianapolis. It was awful. Jose, to answer your question, awful. It was actually awful.
I love
But
it.
yeah, so but this is awesome time. So Gen Con like has like the three main things. One of them is like this open play on the field at Lucas Oil. So I think some of it's open play and some of it's like games that are being hosted by the companies and stuff. But within the convention center, there's two massive rooms. The first is the event hall, and the second is the demo hall. And the event hall is where the tournament was. And it's just probably about 60, 70 different game systems. And people are just playing in tournaments, events, etc. Like there was Magic there that we're doing, I think 100 plus. We were right next to, so I was working for, so the way my job actually worked out there was I was contracted through a company called Day 2, who was contracted to Asmodee to do stuff. So like the Legion stuff was right next to where they were showing people all the new Asmodee games, which is really cool. So like next to us was Mandalorian Adventures, which is a brand new game that they came out with, and I got to watch the Mandalorian play Mandalorian Adventures, which was awesome.
Right.
Literally a guy in a full Mando suit. It was completely awesome. But yeah, so the event was awesome. I got to walk around the demo hall. Again, any game you could want, except for Root. The one game I wanted to buy, I could not find.
Which game was that?
Root. It's called Root. It's a fun little I don't know how to explain it without getting into a 20-minute tangent. But
were they selling the Star Wars expansions to the card building game? Dang.
No, they had them out. I played a game with them. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
A lot of the card art is in Legion. I'm not gonna say from Legion, but it's in Legion.
Yeah.
It's like there's a Grievous card that's the same.
How do the clones and the Separatists play? What's different about them?
Different time. We'll talk about this later.
Okay, just dodge my question. That's cool.
No,
I don't want to get into like a 20-minute tangent about it, not Legion, right? Like I'm already.
Right. Yeah.
But
we don't need to.
Yeah, so I had some time off on the first day there. I got to walk through the hall, and walk through all the demo stuff, which was cool. For the Legion stuff, Josh Hale from San Francisco, who I'm trying to get on the pod at some point. I told him that Jose likes to argue, and he said he wants to argue with him because he doesn't lose arguments. So beware, that pod will get derailed, and I'm not going to stop that one. But so he was in charge. He's from San Francisco. He brought along his friend Kai, and then Brendan from the Inglourious Blasters was also there, and he actually talked about his experience at the tournament. So if you want to go listen to that, it was in their latest pod. He had a very different experience than I did. He's a little bit older than I am. So, his pod is my knees hurt. My legs, I was so tired after the first day. Completely different experience. I was
That's
ready
who
to
you're
go,
talking to
excited.
right now.
You went to Vegas with your uncles pretty much.
Yeah,
We're all busted up,
us right
dude.
now.
You're all excited and full of pep, and we're like,
That's what I'm saying. You're out there running around to these events and playing all these games, and we're just like, can we make it? I don't know. I don't know if we can.
But yeah, so first day when I finally get there, first day. So the event is 4 days total, I think. 3 or 4. The first day, it had to have been 4. So the first day we don't have a tournament. And so they were doing demos in the front. No, they were doing learn to plays in the front. So there were a couple people running those. I wasn't doing any of that. About halfway through the day, Kai and I were charged with starting to set up all the tables for Gen Con.
You were judging, right?
So I was judging. Yeah, I don't even think I said that. I think you hinted at it, but I was a judge for the event.
Just a question about that. When you judged, aside from like any money you may have gotten or anything, did you get cool promo stuff?
I got the promo kit from this year's, I got a World's GT kit basically of stuff. So yes. And then in addition to that, Andrea from AMG was nice and said, hey, whatever extra stuff you guys have, You can give some of it to everybody to help with their local tournaments and stuff. So like that's where I got some of the extra stuff for the league. And so so I have all that stuff from it, which was, it's the stuff from World. So it's the dice, it's the command cards that are shiny, and then some other goodies as well, like a lanyard, which we wore during the event because we could only so one of the things about Gen Con, the reason it's such a big tournament, like AMG wise, is because Lucasfilm is there. And so there are a lot of things where it was like, all right, it's like the company we're working for, not AMG, but like our contracting company, they were like very clear, like you can't wear anything Star Wars or anything that has any sort of logo for anything because licensors are there. And so it's a whole thing apparently. Not my pig, not my farm, as one of my friends from Dallas would say. But yeah, so one of the
not my farm.
Yeah. It was an interesting night. He said that about 40 times. He was very intoxicated.
That checks out. Sounds like something you'd say.
So mini soda. But anyway, so the first day we set up tables, and one of the things Josh said is because it was this big event with all the licensors, and because, and I didn't mention this, we had prime real estate, the Legion tournament did. We were right at the entrance. Like the first thing you saw when you entered the event hall was Star Wars Legion. And so the thing that Josh said is, I want to make you guys to make like the coolest looking tables, right? And so we did. Some of them were questionable gameplay wise, particularly the indoor tables, which I went ham on just to make them as crazy and interesting as possible. I sent a couple of pictures for the local guys to see in the Discord. They looked great. I felt really bad watching somebody with vehicles play on it. So that was not a great experience for them. So, but you're on Endor. It is what it is. But like, and so I had 2 Endor tables, and I had enough. And technically, the boxes, I had 3 boxes. They were supposed to be for 4 tables, and I put 4 tables worth of stuff on 2 tables.
That's a Garrus kind of table.
So these were some pretty dense tables, all things considered. But they looked great. They were cool setting up. We set up 32 tables. Day 1, we had 64 signups, like 48 show up. So already, we already lost some people. We go through the first day of judging, and this is my first time doing this. It was actually pretty light. There were a couple, like I was able to do most of the calls. They were pretty easy. There were a couple calls where it's like, I know the answer to this, but I don't want to screw up their game. So I would go to Josh and say, hey, this is right? And he'd say yes. And I'd go back and say, yeah, I'm right. But, so there's a little bit of just leaning on, I actually know what I'm talking about.
So did you have any tough calls?
Yeah. So there were a couple of really tough calls. Like the hardest was like a movement over a building. And so somebody says, hey, can I do this? And so the difference between like when I was judging, I was like Brendan was saying, he would sit around and wait for people to call. I was just walking around in a circle the whole time because I don't sit down and do nothing well. I need to be walking. It actually irritates people I know because they're like, we're just talking. Why are you running around? I'm like, I don't know. I just want to walk around. But so like I would walk around all the tables and, like, so one of them, somebody said, hey, can I do this? And, I was just nearby. I just took the call and he's like, hey, can I do this? And, it's hard because it's over a building. It's one of those moves. And it's like, can I get from here to here? And it was this close. Right. And it was one of those things I'm like, oh yeah, you can do it. And I show him. And then the opponent actually was like, I actually don't agree with that. So he actually ended up calling Josh, and Josh had to go over. And, you could get over the building, but, I moved the guy like this much too far. But it was like, all right, well, you could still get over the building. So, it's not like at the end of the day, everything that they wanted to be able to do, they could do. So there were a couple calls like that. There was an LOS call. There was like, I don't know if you guys never played on the Mandalorian stuff, but not Mandalorian, but Mandalore, I mean to say, terrain. It's sick. I love that terrain. It is awful for LOS checks. Absolutely awful because you're looking through like pieces that thin and you're like, can I see this guy who's behind this wall here and this guy's behind this wall here? And you're like looking for these little tiny cross angles. It's like not fun doing that. So I had one of those calls And it was how many people can see here, and I'm like, I don't know, like 4. And I spent longer than that. They ended up calling Josh, and it was 5 instead of 4. It was either 3 instead of 4 instead of 3, or 4 or 5 instead of 4. So I missed that slightly. But other than that, it was a lot of easy calls, a lot of just basic rules questions, or just, hey, can I get an unbiased opinion? What's this? The ones that were the most frustrating calls were the terrain calls. It's, hey, we didn't talk about this piece of terrain, because I basically, like, multiple times throughout the day at the beginning of the round, this is something that Hob did at Worlds, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to copy this. Is he went around tables saying, define terrain, define terrain, define terrain. Like, nicer than that. And I said it nicer than that. But it was basically define your freaking terrain, people, because come on. And so there are a couple.
To be fair, it's hard.
It's hard. No, it is.
To anticipate everything that you have in your list and how it interacts with it is difficult.
Well, it's not that. It's stuff like, is this difficult terrain? Yeah. And so one of the games I had, this was on day 2. It was this piece of terrain. It was about this big, and it had some crates on it. And before the game, one of the players, I guess, was just kind of rapid firing what was going on, like with terrain wise. They'd played on the table before. We'd offered to move them, but they said no, it's okay. So they were just saying, oh, this, and apparently the opponent was just like barely paying attention. So there was this piece of terrain that could or could not have been difficult terrain. And it mattered because it would change the entirety of how this guy played his turn 0 and his round 1 and this whole thing, because he assumed it wasn't difficult. And so, they make the call over for me, and I'm like, it's day 2 at this point. There's like 16 people left, and so I'm like, all right, I didn't tell them this, but I'm like, this is difficult terrain. I've played with this stuff. I've always made it difficult. But I called over one of the other judges, Kai, and I said, all right, I want you to make a call, and if we agree, we're going to keep it, and if not, we'll just call Josh. Because again, I'm like, this matters, and I don't want to just. A lot of this tournament was me like being like, I'm not used to taking charge like this and this kind of thing. Like, I don't want to take charge over their game, which is basically what you're doing. So and plus, we're not doing anything.
But that's on them. They need to put themselves in a spot where not anybody else is making that call. So I wouldn't feel bad.
I wanted to be fair, right? I'm like, all right, I have my opinion, but I called someone else. He agreed, said difficult, and the guy got irritated. He's like, whoa, like, before the game, I thought this, blah blah blah. We talked about this, and the other guy's like, I didn't hear you say that, like. So I would say like that early, and here's the thing, like, both of them had wanted a casual game. They were both in the losing brackets. Neither of them were winning at this point. And that whole game, they had like pretty terrible rapport between the two of them. Like, they were trying to be happy and jovial and having fun, but it was just not clicking because of that early miscommunication, because they started off on the wrong foot. And so it's one of those things where, like, my big takeaway from that is like, just make sure people hear each other, have that communication open. But yeah, so that was the tournament. We put stuff away the next day. There's a lot of after stuff that I don't want to get into because we have, Republic to talk about today. It's going to be a long one already, but it was a ton of fun. I got to go to the after party after day 1 with the Stabcasts people, mostly Ryan. Met a lot of the indie folks, they were really cool people. They were wearing their yellow jumpsuits day 1, which was fun. Met with some people from Ohio who were telling me how shitty Ohio is, so that was a good time.
That's the norm, though.
Yeah. Like, I don't think anybody from Ohio would argue Ohio is not shitty.
Yeah, so. Yeah, exactly.
But anyways, yeah. So that was my experience. Got trapped on the way home, and again, Spirit gave me the middle finger and said, "You're staying. We're not giving you a flight. Deal with it." So I booked out with United, and the next day that plane got canceled. So I got stuck there for another 4 hours, but that was okay because I ended up going to Chicago, and I did this, like, I did like a day in Chicago, which is awesome. I got some deep dish, which I had been wanting to get anyways. So
how was it?
It was great. I love deep dish. It's my favorite kind of pizza, the best kind of pizza. Sure as hell beats me and Ed's. I'm looking forward to going to Giordano's. And
does it beat Round Table?
What do you mean?
Round Table's pretty good, though.
So
what do you
anyways,
mean? Roundtable's better than me and Ed's.
highly recommend Gen Con. It was a ton of fun.
Oh my God, dodge the question.
Justin actually went from Modesto, from Roll Better Dice or whatever.
Yeah.
He was able to go, so I was able to hang out with him a little bit as well. So it was a great time. I highly recommend. Yeah.
Cool beans.
Big tournaments are fun, and
yeah. Keep doing it. Keep going. Like
you know what? I enjoyed it. I'd go again. Judging was actually fun. I liked it. Like I thought I would hate not playing, but it was actually really cool getting to see all the different games that were happening.
I'm the opposite. I rather play than judge. Like,
well, of course, I'd rather play, right? But I didn't hate it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It was kind of interesting. Especially the coolest part was watching people play on the maps that I had made the day before and seeing how they interacted with them in ways I had never intended. Again, the indoor tables are my favorite. They were the ones I spent the most time on. And it was really cool watching people like on day 2, there were it was a clone mirror match, both with commandos and Rex. I think they both even had Rex commandos. and they were like dropping into the top. I think one was arcs and one was commandos or something, but they like using the third, because these indoor tables are like 3 stories. So they were like going on the 3rd story, and then somebody was on the 2nd story, and then somebody's on the ground, like duking it out, and all these crazy shots. And it was really
right on, man.
Which is our perfect segue into New Republic, right?
Yeah,
New Republic.
So that's why we got John here. We got 2 clone players that have been playing.
I mean, I got to make the joke. We only have 1 clone player here because Jose hasn't played a match.
I'm playing CIS now, suckers.
Oh, you defected.
Yeah,
he defected. He's a traitor.
Dark side. Hey, to be fair, it's the better army.
It's the first army I've ever played, so I just had to go back and get Dooku back on board.
So
Dooku's really good. So
that's true.
Well, I did that, and then they go and we're gonna get into it later. But then Anakin becomes a beast. I'm like, oh, I made the wrong decision.
Yeah, why didn't you? Yeah, Anakin's insane.
Yeah,
it's so funny because in your whole LVO career, you've been running Anakin to make him work, and now's the time to play him for LVO because you could potentially climb the ladder.
Yeah, just remember, I made Anakin work when he was terrible. You can't take that.
Yeah, but you can make him work now, though, Jose. Like, oh my God, bro.
Yeah, like
I mean,
I would crazy.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. I would argue that Anakin before and Anakin now are completely different characters.
Sure,
I agree.
So like the only thing is the model. The only thing that's the same is the model. So
I mean,
is that where we're starting?
Honestly, no, we're not gonna start at Anakin. Anakin's the 3rd one down, but
you have a list? Are we prepared?
He runs. He just runs down. He runs down the tabletop admiral list.
I just think
I should open tabletop admiral. I am not prepared.
That's what I did last time. This is gonna be a train wreck. You watch.
I think you should seriously consider taking Anakin to LVO. There's gonna be a bunch of Anakins. That's how good Anakin is now. Yeah, I'm actually going off of the AMG website, but all right, boys, let's get into this. So starting our cover of all the new unit stuff that's changed. Now
and our hot takes on them, right?
Yeah.
I'm fully on board with hot takes now.
Republic.
That's all. That's the only reason I'm here. I don't want hot takes the first week. I'm only here for the hot takes now.
Well, okay. Well, let's start off, okay? I'll get you guys' hot take after I read what's changed about the new unit, okay? So we're going to go first with Padme.
Trash.
Actually, trash. Yeah, trash. In the trash.
Hold the horses.
Do not pass go. Do not collect.
Why are you starting operatives?
Why aren't you stopping?
I'm going off of the AMG. AMG.
No. Start in commander slots and work your way back.
No, he's going off in PDF. He's got the file, man.
I got the file both up. It's all right here. It works perftly.
All right, I'll open up the file then.
I'm looking at both back to back.
I'm not opening that. I'm closing my admiral. Too much work already, Jay. Too much work.
So let's go over these changes to Padme, okay? So the things that have changed about her is 1, she used to be 85. She is now 60. She lost quick thinking, gained bolster 2. She gained agile 1, lost authoritative, gained inspire 2, lost exemplar. She still has nimble and sharpshooter 2. She now surges to crit. Her blaster is 3 reds now instead of 3 blacks. She loses Pierce though, and I think that's it for slots.
Oh, she's no longer being played by Natalie Portman. You almost forgot that part.
Yeah. Oh no, it looks the same. I think it looks the same.
I guess.
Yeah.
They definitely messed with the art style.
Okay. Give me you guys your hot takes. Let's start off with John. What do you think, man?
I mean, the loss of Exemplar does hurt because that's, I mean, the main reason you would use Padme. But I mean, she's all right. She's not top tier anymore, I think.
So I want to talk about Padme not as in a she's I'm not saying she's bad because she's not who she was before. Like, let's throw that Padme away, right? In the trash. Let's look at what she does now. Bro. Let's look what she does now. Right? So bolster 2. Okay. Is that a good keyword in this faction right now? No. Is my hot take, maybe. Because nobody needs it that much. I guess you could do arcs, right? You could give it to arcs, and you could give it to, I mean, commandos don't need it. Your core don't need it. So basically, it is just arcs, right? Does anyone have any other unit that could use the bolster? Any thoughts?
Anakin.
Look, core can use it.
Oh no, he doesn't because deflect. Deflect's always on.
I mean, does he?
Well,
like,
I mean,
into the fray?
Yeah, no. Bolster is good because it gives you that extra tick on defense if you need it.
Again,
yeah,
it's
for melee.
It's like the amount of surges you need around, you probably don't need these surges. Like, it might come up every once in a while, but it's not enough to make it worth it. And that's what her main thing is now, right? Like, agile 1 and nimble,
I don't
that's
think
nice.
That's her main thing. Honestly, I think you use her to shoot.
Yeah, I think she's a actual operative piece now. She's not like a token generator.
I think you use her to go in there. You could snipe somebody off a point. Not snipe, but like
she's so easy to kill though.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't
6
disagree.
health.
I don't
No defense. Like, her 6 health with 1 dodge. That is her defensive cooldown. If she has, or her defensive ability, she gets a dodge a turn.
Well, here's the thing about her though, is that she is
using,
cheap and she is good for act padding in this faction, right? It's not a bad weapon profile, and she surges the crit. So it's not
and sharpshooter too. So
and let's assume she's using the range 3 gun too, which is what, a red and a black.
It's actually you know what? That's also changed.
Oh well, then let's talk about the gun then.
The gun is the gun's still the same. It's range 1 to 2. It's not
no, not that gun. The range 3 gun, that the upgrade.
Oh yeah. That stays the same.
Okay, because you're not going to want to use her in range 1 to 2 because she'll get deleted.
Right.
So like, let's let me look up what that gun is.
I got it right here. It's 5
It's red and a white, Pierce 1.
Pierce 1. Yep.
Like, either that, I mean, either her range 2 or her range 3 shot aren't great. And again, I guess she's cheap, but I just don't think that she has any singular strong identity. Like, it seems the intent of using her is to bolster, right? Is to bolster, and maybe you give her like Electra Binox or prepare or whatever the dodge one is, take covered thing. But I just don't think she does much. Yep.
Field scanner.
Yeah. I just don't think she does enough right now.
With the change, what in my opinion, well, the way I used to use her was taking advantage of that the sharpshooter 2 on a fire support, but now that fire support's gone, she can't do that trick anymore. And the what would have been an old school upside is now terrible because if you weren't going to engage her as a token battery or as like a fire supporting platform to just nullify cover, you always had the backup of getting the secret mission. But the way the rules are now, like there's no way you're running her head on into anything for a secret mission. You can't even put her in a vehicle. So like, for what you're paying for her, you might as well just scrap her and pick up a clone commander that's the same points that functionally works better for your army than she does.
I will say, if you're playing Padme, you're divulging in getting secret mission, right?
Yeah, but it's so hard to get secret mission.
I understand that, but if you're bringing her, it's because you're trying to do that. as hard as it is.
I disagree. I think if you're bringing her, you're act padding.
Okay,
Yeah,
and if you're act padding, why aren't you just doing the secret
clone
mission
commando.
anyways? Right? Like why not just divulge, get it anyway? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying you bring her to get that victory point, that singular victory point out of 12 instead of like 3, right? Yeah. You're just I'm saying if you do bring her, you're doing it because you might as well. Just to make your opponent think about it, and just to give her the infiltrate, if nothing else.
And she also she's not even being used to hand off her order anymore. So
I think if you're gonna bring her, it's mostly like you're using her pip cards, or you're
Correct.
using her to infiltrate, you're using her to shoot, and that's it. Like,
it's so weird that they gave her Inspire 1 when now all core are
Inspire
Courage
2.
2. Like,
Yeah.
Inspire 2.
It's Inspire
This
1.
is a Nick unit.
Two.
This is a unit Nick is
'cause
gonna bring.
Does she have
And if you don't divulge her card, she gets 3. Which is, again, I agree. It's the faction doesn't really need the Inspire that much.
You're right. Inspire 2. Inspire 2.
I mean, you could literally have Inspire 5 on her, right? You get 2 from the base card, 1 from her command card. You can run lead by example, and then that gives you 8, right? Or sorry, 5, not 8. It was, yeah. But I mean, that's good. I mean, 5 suppression off a turn is actually not terrible, right?
I honestly think you rather have the Inspire 1 than the Secret Mission.
Secret mission is a suicide. It should be a suicide mission.
Because inspiring 3 off of things when
the thing is, like, even if it's a suicide mission, you're paying 60 points to get a victory point. I'd make that deal.
That
like,
completion
that's a good trade.
is gonna be
That's a good trade.
Though.
She's not gonna make it though.
Yeah, you're that's like a
that's man,
so
like how
low.
many you don't have to make a lot of, like, you basically just have to last first turn, she gets it.
She also has to survive.
I still don't think
no,
she's making it.
If you last first, she'll basically survive most games.
Nah, I don't think so.
Not with those white saves, bro.
Not with the white save.
You guys understand what last first thing is? I mean, she's only gonna get shot at like once.
So I think we can agree, everybody agrees that Padme is worse than her counterpart.
Yeah.
Than Leia?
I think
no. Than the old
just
Padme.
her.
Well, yeah. But so
clearly
worse.
Not a good change. We don't like it.
Bring the clone commander.
I just don't think she's worth bringing. But again, if you are going to bring her, you lean into what she's doing. You do the secret mission. You get the 1 point for free, basically.
You know what? I think you do the secret mission is the new disarray. I think that's when you do the secret mission.
Again, you can, if you last first, right? You start infiltrate. You do 2 moves, turn 1, and then the next turn you do 2 more moves, and you get a victory point. Like, it's not terrible.
The new victory point rule, she doesn't have to survive.
No,
she get it immediately.
Yeah.
As soon as you get into their deployment,
which is a nice change, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, all right, moving on to the Grand Master of the Jedi Order, Yoda himself. So he is now a 180 instead of 200.
Wait, Yoda changed?
Yep, Yoda changed.
Yeah.
His guidance has now changed. Guidance used to be you could guidance a trooper unit. Now guidance is guidance, but whatever is next to it. So for him, he's got guidance trooper, so he can guidance trooper units. And then he gained deflect, and I think that is it from what he got.
Okay, so he literally his only change is he gained deflect then, because I'm looking at this. That's his only change.
Well, yeah, essentially, yeah.
Yeah,
and the reason,
and he went down points, yeah.
Right, but
that's just a cushion for force push.
Yeah,
I don't think he's really even worth talking about, because like guidance trooper is kind of worse than before. You can't do like bark stuff anymore, but I don't think it's that.
You can never do bark stuff because it was always trooper. Guidance always was a trooper.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
but you were confusing me. Like,
well, they changed guidance now to where whatever is next to guidance is now what you can guidance. So, for instance,
somebody's going to get guidance.
Yeah, somebody has. I think it's Cody that has guidance vehicle. And
wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then Veers has it as well.
No, then it must be
No,
Veers.
It's Veers. It's Veers. You're right. I lied.
Yeah,
It's
Veers.
not Cody. It's
Yeah.
Veers that
So
has
so that makes sense then.
Cody
yeah.
has direct vehicle.
Yeah. It's Veers that has guidance vehicle.
Yeah. No,
So,
yeah, Yoda's the same, still good, still really solid, I think.
Yeah, I mean, he went down in points, so that's still S tier. Still a good guy. All right. Anybody else think he got worse?
Nobody said he got worse.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
I-
I'm asking.
I mean, he just got cheaper. That's about it.
Oh no, I mean, deflect isn't that big of a deal for him. It's basically just he can deal wounds back on surges, which is not terrible, but
One wound.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. The man, the myth, the legend.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I wish. The one that got the most changes and arguably what he should have always been, Anakin Skywalker. He's actually the same points. He didn't lose any points. He's 155, right?
I'm surprised he
already-
didn't go. I'm surprised he didn't go up.
He was always so cheap.
He should be 300 points.
I'm surprised he literally with the changes. I'm surprised he didn't go up.
Yeah.
That dude is a freaking
So
blender now.
Let's go over the changes. He now surges the crit.
Natively.
Yeah.
Because he used to get it from a command card.
Right. So essentially what they did is they just gave a lot of his keywords that were on his command cards. There's no more flaw card. That's gone. He gains
Terrible
charge.
decision.
Hey, bro.
His
Thank
flaw
you.
should have been made even stronger.
No, I think it's
His flaw should have been if you have an enemy Palpatine, he swaps sides. That's what it should
His
have been.
flaw should have been given
He
to Maul.
swap sides.
Hey,
Like literally just play if you have a Palpatine. Anakin Skywalker is now controlled by the opposing player for the rest of
Is now Darth Vader.
Oh no. I'll take Anakin Skywalker.
They did say they're going to come out with faction specific advantages, so maybe there might be one.
Oh, I would like an ability for Empire, like you can convert Jedi to the dark side or attempt to, and it somehow messes with enemy Jedi. That'd be sick.
That would be sick.
Isn't that what Inquisitor training already does?
Yeah,
No.
can I get that as an advantage?
Oh my god.
It's an advantage. So at any point,
Yeah.
if your opponent uses
Yeah.
force power, cancel it.
So he gained charge, he gained deflect, he gained Master of the Force 1, and a couple of his things changed. Degenso now reads that whenever your enemy makes a melee attack, if they had any blanks, they take 1 damage.
Insane.
Very insane. And it's so good because it's like Maul's gonna take a damage if he attacks Anakin.
Yep.
Asajj will probably take a damage if he attacks Anakin.
Well, at least Asajj can mitigate.
Asajj can
but
mitigate.
not effectively, right? She can,
Yeah.
but not effectively. She's rolling 8 dice aside from her 1 pip card, where she gets 4 dodges to flip over a lot of those. So good.
You didn't even mention Tempted.
I'm gonna do that right now. Thank you, sir.
That's the best part about it.
Yeah,
right now.
Tempted is the best part. And I played this against John, and Tempted just annoyed me. So what Tempted does now is whenever a unit in range 3, a friendly unit in range 3, gets deleted, you can make a move or an attack once per round. That's so good.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's if they die, right?
Well, that's what I meant by delete, right?
Okay,
Because if a miniature dies, that doesn't count. It has to be the whole.
Would
unit.
does that re-trigger charge?
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
it does.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, it's like
I was wanting
Jose,
to double check on that.
Take Anakin. He is so good.
It's
You know
so
what my
good.
goal is gonna be at LVO? And my goal at LVO is gonna be to take Dooku, make sure Anakin has 1 damage on him, and then walk up with Dooku, Makashi Master, and 1-shot Anakin.
I mean, arguably, rightfully so.
Dooku's not gonna miss 5 red. You kidding?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Dooku has the best chance of killing Anakin.
Yeah.
Vader.
Vader too, right? Palpatine. Well,
No.
I guess he goes. Yeah, Palpatine.
No.
You get hurt. You get hurt, Palpatine.
Nope, you don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Palpatine does not attack Jedi now because they always have deflect.
Yeah. That's. Let's go over that too. I know we probably did that in the last episode, but let's do a little refresher. Deflect change is now always on, and it does a maximum of 1 damage back, no matter how many surges you roll. Which
Well, okay, so deflect now is you gain surge to block against range attacks, and if you roll a surge, your opponent takes 1 wound.
Yeah,
Always
so good.
on range attacks.
I still need to run a bunch of like Force users now just because of that change rule.
But yeah, so with Anakin, I think he's super solid. I think you run. I mean, you can't run choke anymore, which sucks. But you probably just run.
Nobody ever ran choke with them though.
I mean,
I
would
did
have.
until they.
What did
like,
you really
demolish it.
ran? What did you take? What were your 2 force powers? Because that's wild
Uh,
that you could choke.
I did saber throw and choke.
So actually, that's a good
Force
point.
pushless Anakin? Maybe now, but
So
that's
actually,
wild.
that's a really good point on that saber throw. He is charge, not relentless, which is a huge deal because he can't on attempted move saber throw, which is really good. I think if he had relentless, he'd be way too strong.
The change to fire support killed that anyways. Even if he still had relentless,
It's
using
still
Anakin-
free. It's free damage, right?
Okay,
If you're
yeah,
not
it's free
able to get
damage.
in, like it's still 3 dice out of 5.
But that's the thing with Anakin players post this change, you are always looking for a saber throw fire support. That's the only time you would use that saber throw. So right now, like I would say saber throw now is like
Well, it's
you're
not
only
good
running
because
3
he doesn't have
dice.
relentless. It's just
You
not
know,
good.
but even
Unless
then, you could still you could do a manual saber throw with the back then. You could do a manual saber throw with the fire support. Like that dice pool's gone, and that is the only reason you were taking the saber throw.
So what do you
I was
take on
gonna
him now?
say,
I still think you take saber throw because when something gets deleted, you can saber throw that deleted unit, right?
What?
Assuming
well,
you're in range 2 of it.
and the other thing is like you
Barrier and force
saber
push.
throw, and then
Barrier?
Barrier force push.
Barrier kind of goes the opposite of what you want because it's saving them. So you're procking your tempted less.
yeah. So I take saber throw because you could hit a unit with 3 pierce, and then if they happen to delete one of your guys, you could still move in. Like,
My thing is my thing is I much rather have the barrier. Yes, I get I will accept the tempted when triggered. That is okay. But in this alpha strikey shoot 'em up shootout game, like I'd much rather keep units alive that are going to be more valuable in scoring.
Yeah, of course. No,
So
barrier's great.
push
It's just
barrier.
push
well,
barrier.
and
What do you think, JR?
For force powers,
Yeah.
I think you do force push and versus speed.
I'm with you. I don't think like he doesn't want to be like barrier to me is like for the force users that are okay, kind of chilling in the back. Anakin now is like, I'm a rocket. I'm going to go forward and I'm going to go kill stuff. And I'm going to burst on round 2 or round 1 and murder the enemy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I think before we really talk about Anakin, we probably should mention his new command cards because they all changed.
Yeah, because you really want to like, and I agree with you, Rob. Is you want to proc Anakin's tempted as much as possible. Like you should be procking it 5 times throughout the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can go with the command cards. I go with the command. John, what did you think?
well, I was gonna say, I know in our game, like, I think Yoda. If you bring the Yoda and Anakin, it's a kind of a good combo because you can use Yoda's 2-pip to give him relentless for a turn.
Oh, the
So
saber
like
throw, yeah.
saber throw and tempted, like he has it for the whole turn, and he has outmaneuver. So it just adds more keywords and makes him a little more like buffed up on that turn. And Yoda has it too. So
Yeah, it's super good. I'll go over some command cards. So his 3-pip is now called General Skywalker. Anakin, you issue an order to Anakin and 2 units. Anakin gains Inspire 2 this round. When Anakin Skywalker issues an order to a unit with this card, that unit gains 1 aim token. That's
Probably is
so good.
worse. It's like
it's good, but like it's the worst of the 3 good cards.
Yes. Yeah, I was gonna say like it's decent. If I have other, but it's like that is the one that I'd be willing to throw away. Like I see that and I'm like, all right, this is all right. 3 aim tokens, right? That's the card, is you get 3 aim tokens. Inspire 2 may matter every 3rd game, but I don't know. Because like for instance, if you're playing 5-0 first and you're like, oh, what 3 pip I'm gonna bring? I'm bringing Leaders of the 5-0 first over that any day. If assuming you have like a Rex or something with command cards.
I don't know. You know who likes aims more than anybody in this game? Clones.
Clones,
they can also share them. So like I feel like this is just
that's true. It's really good. It's not a bad card.
I feel like it's a turn 1, turn 2 card, honestly.
I think it's like a turn 2 card.
Yeah,
probably turn 2.
2, 3.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because you can play this turn 1, give it to the ARC troopers. Now the ARCs get to get a scout and then get to move again. Now they have 3 aims.
Yeah.
So it's just icing on the cake. Like this is just so good.
I think that's
What do you think, Jose?
Oh, it's okay. I like his other cards better. I'm with Rob. Like you're playing 5-0 first.
I think icing
worst of the good cards.
It's just icing on the cake is the best way to put it. It's like this card is not going to fundamentally change the game state. Like think of it compared to like the Yoda 3 pip, which gives 2 aims, 2 surges, 2 dodges. That's really solid because it's flexible. And this is just more offense.
The aims on
they're good. Don't get me wrong.
No, well, see, the thing is that the aims on the arcs is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But 1 aim on a clone unit is not that we've whiffed those 2 dice plenty of times. So at least the arcs, that a swelling of aims into that giant pool is worth it. I don't know. It's the best of his it's the worst of his best cards.
To be honest, I think you still take this over Leader of the 5-0 first if you had to choose.
No.
Like I understand a domino is permanent and it's really good, but like I said, everything in the faction now is pretty much courage too.
Yeah, but there's a lot of suppression going out these days.
Yeah,
and you want but
I think this game has now become how fast can your Alpha Strike turn 1, and I feel like this is a contender for doing as much damage as possible turn 1.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's a good turn 1 card.
You're also exposing. Oh, sorry, go John.
I was just gonna say that way you could give out the aims. Like you could give it to a core unit and still move and not shoot with them, but at least they can share that token.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And that's also too. The clone trooper keyword has changed. It is now you can share tokens from range 2 instead of 1. So it's range 1 to 2 now, which is
no, that's fair.
This is the best cake in all of cakes right now. Is clones. Like you eat this cake, you're just gonna orgasm every time. That's what this is. I'm not lying.
Let's talk about that too, Pip. Let's talk about that too, Pip.
God,
I think we have a title though. If you eat this cake, you'll orgasm every time.
Yeah, there you go. That's the title.
Grand Army of the Republic, Legion Labs.
Hey, just to make
OnlyFans coming
that's
soon.
the worst one of it. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2, underestimate my power. Great art card because it's the Sonic and Anakin fighting.
You just know Anakin's gonna defeat her because she sucks.
You know what? Now,
those are fighting words.
Old Anakin, I'd be like, get out of here, Rob. New Anakin, that's pretty accurate. So you issue it to Anakin and 1 unit. This round, while Anakin Skywalker is attacking a unit that has a face down order token during the form attack pool step, he adds 6 white attack dice to the attack pool. Jose, what do you think, my man?
He's surging a crit, more dice, better dice.
Yeah. What do you think, John?
Yeah, it's really good, especially with the tempted keyword. If he's just floating around and you delete someone else, like he'll just move in on a unit with charge.
Well, okay. Yes, he can. Keep in mind you don't flip your token upside down until after your turn.
Yeah, the timing is
so it would have to be into something that is already gone. But yes.
Yeah. You have the potential to roll 11 dice twice that round.
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
insane.
It is insane. It's
And
It's
if you
Surging
yeah.
dice.
if you have a Yoda,
yeah, surging
three
crit
times.
dice. Yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I think Yoda and Anakin would be the best combo.
I want
It
to run
definitely
that.
is.
Fun.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
That's
so
what John
good.
has been doing. John has been running Yoda Anakin.
It's so good with guidance. It's just like, hey, you go do that, and
Yeah.
he'll do
Yeah. It's oh my god.
it. It's so good.
Any more comments on this one?
Busted.
Yeah.
I just want to say, like, my biggest thing on it is this card is best as a. So to me, the Force user job, like the Anakin Vader job, I'll say it, Anakin / Vader, is I'm going to delete your army. You want to avoid any contact with enemy Force users as much as possible because they're just going to slow you down. And this card is really good at I'm going to delete your army. Like Anakin gets in range, kills a clone squad, gets in range or a droid squad or anything. And I really like this card too because it allows him to be a threat against double squads.
Yeah.
When you're rolling 5 dice, it's questionable. 6 dice with tenacity, still questionable. 11 dice, 12 dice. Yeah, they're not going to feel good after that, especially because it's 12 dice Pierce 3 with tenacity.
That's the playing around it that the opponent's gonna have to worry about.
I think, in my opinion, if I see Anakin list going here on 4, it's the weakness of the list in the sense that should be your target to shoot at and delete as quickly as possible. Then the list goes down from there. Yeah, Anakin.
Here's the thing: he's still only 155 points.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's
he's
like
so cheap. Like you do that, they still have 800 points behind him. Even with Force Push, they have 800 points.
Yeah, it's
like he is.
You're not wrong.
He's like 30 points cheaper than Vader, and I think he does Vader things maybe not better than Vader, but at least as good as Vader.
You know, AMG saw this and like, hey man, Anakin's the poster boy of Star Wars. Why isn't he better? And then one of them was an Anakin fan and was just like, yes, we can make him better. And then just went crazy.
Now, let's be clear here. Star Wars is not about Anakin. It's about Palpatine, but
this is false. This is false.
I'm sorry.
So
I'm sorry. This all changed at episode 9 when all of a sudden Palpatine returned, and all of a sudden the entire trilogy of trilogies was about him.
I think it's
the meaning of the entire 9 movies.
Yeah, I agree with John. It's about Maul. It's always about Maul. It's always
he was the first. He was the first one to show up, and then he was still the first.
If it was about Maul, why did he get beat so bad in the middle of the desert?
Because he's too good.
For the 10th time.
He did my tactic: kill him fast as possible.
This is gonna be a 3-hour. But yeah, no. It's a really great card, and his one pip is even better.
Okay, hold on a minute. I got some thoughts on this 1 pip. So let me explain.
Okay, let's talk about the top of the 1 pip.
And
assume that's the only part of it.
Okay, let me. No, why would we do that? We gotta give it to you all straight, and then I'll tell you.
All right, I want to.
He's gonna give you it all.
I'm gonna talk about just the top of it, and then we can talk about the bottom half.
So
yeah, give all the cake.
1 pip. This is where the fun begins. It's issued to Anakin. Anakin Skywalker gains jump 2. It's free action.
Free action is the important part.
Free action is the most important thing on that jump 2. This round and can perform up to 2 attack actions during his activation this round, which is good.
If you burst, you get 3 speed, 3 moves.
Yes, which is so good. And I think this is the trap. So it's second half of this card,
implacable, but you don't have to take the second activation, or don't get. I don't know. You don't have to take a wound either.
No. The second half of this card is the Divulge Resolve Setup Effect Step. Anakin Skywalker gains prepared position in this game, and I think that's the trap of this card.
That is a trap.
It's stupid.
Okay, I want to just talk about the top. What do you guys think of just the top?
What do you mean just talk about the top?
Because the bottom.
I'm saying I'm agreeing with you. Like, this is ridiculous. Just like you said, burst of speed. That's 3 moves, right? And then Tempted gets proc again. That's another speed 3 move.
Yeah.
And with Yoda on top of that with guidance.
Oh my god.
Jesus.
Are you gonna be able to keep Yoda up with him that fast?
No.
Yeah, no.
And not unless you get Yoda burst of speed.
Yeah,
Well,
versus
and-
Speed Yoda, and Yoda has a 1-pip that gives him.
I
3.
think that's a bad day if both of those units go down in one turn.
Well,
one
that's the
thing
thing, though.
one thing I want to ask, actually, I don't know the answer to this, is can you do the free action jump and then the action jump,
No, it's already been ruled. You only
Okay.
get one jump.
even if it's a free action or not? Cool. Good
Yeah.
to know. But still, it's
Yeah.
still three.
They were already
three-
trying to
three
break
moves.
that when that card got dropped. I'm like, as an Anakin player, I'm like, yeah, you're totally not going to get away with this.
So
And then they
then-
hard rolled it fast. Like,
So
nope.
then, does that mean the free jump is actually jump 3?
No, it's jump 2.
No. It's jump 2, but you can't do the free jump and then jump again with your regular jump. It's you jump once and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I just
to
wanted
be
to check.
honest,
Yeah.
the whole Yoda thing being near, I feel like it's possible because the game is so much more closer.
Yeah, it just
But do
adds
you
another
want them that
dimension
close?
of a threat. It's another dimension of a threat with Yoda. Like if you take barrier on Yoda for Anakin, like he's staying
yeah.
next to Anakin.
Yeah.
So why do you think prepared? I'm going to take devil's advocate here. Why do you think prepared supplies is a trap?
So
It's
I
Prepared
so bad.
position? 'Cause you
Prepared,
could
yeah,
screen 'em.
prepared positions.
You could
It's
screen
bad
him.
with Anakin. Yeah, it's bad.
I
You're
think-
gonna know where he's
I-
at, and then have free reign to either engage
Yeah.
how you want to, or disengage, or not engage as you want to.
Yeah, I feel like with this game being so much alpha striking turn 1, that since Anakin's already on the board, it'll be a lot easier to alpha strike him. Aside, if there's a really good LOS, then I think you can pair position.
Well, and I was gonna say, in like the game that you and I played, like you said, like I drop Anakin, I have to put him first because that's the step, and then
Yeah.
you just put your whole army on the other side. And now Anakin has to fight all the way across.
And not
Just
even
to
that.
get-
Well, you just put him in the center as close as possible.
well,
Well,
we played
the
the
other
disarray
thing-
map.
Well, you don't do it on disarray, period.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, the other thing is, like we were talking before the podcast, like you take 3 steps, you free move on, and then you alpha Anakin all 3 times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's like,
he's also like the first one on the board, so it's like anything
yeah,
could hit him.
if
like-
if I lose one of my steps, but I remove Anakin, I'm taking that win.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Exactly. Like, yeah, that's why it's not that great.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, it's just. But the
Like, he
first
has-
half of that,
Yeah, like he has to stay on the board for what, 10 acts? That could
Yeah.
get shot at. Like, yeah, it's
yeah,
he could go down real fast.
I mean, if there's a good LOS, you do it. I agree with JR, but we can't really bank on tables now, can we?
No.
All right.
So I am
This-
now gonna event a new tier, a tier Z, and that's where Anakin's going. The best of like he's pretty much a god.
It's called SS, dude. You can't just.
No, get the
Oh,
S's out of
no.
here. He's
Yeah.
god tier, tier Z, baby.
All right,
He said he's-
SSS. Like,
Man, what
I
is
said, don't
with the
say
S's?
SS.
No, he's like Super Saiyan level 18. Like,
Nah, he's Beerus. That's who he is. He's Beerus. God damn. Any more thoughts on Anakin?
don't take him. He's bad.
Oh
I
my
don't-
god.
AMG makes me suffer
I'm not
for
scared.
years. They make him good right as I exit. Bastards.
You
I-
chose to exit. You
I
did not
think-
have to make that
I think you
decision,
should run
buddy.
it. Now is your time to run Anakin.
You haven't
It was
played your
two-
first.
it
Look,
was
Jose,
2
you haven't
straight
played your
years
first
of
game
Gar,
yet.
man.
If you want to play Gar, I'll still let you in the league. You
I-
haven't played your first game yet,
Nah.
so
I will
It's
tell
the
you
rise.
right
It's the
now.
rise of Dooku now.
I will tell you right now. You need to play him now because he's gonna get nerfed. I predict he's gonna get nerfed before LVO.
100%.
yeah,
That's my
I
thought.
agree.
He's gonna go up
I-
30 points. It's not gonna be
He-
enough to kill him, but it'll be
If
enough.
we're
He's-
gonna,
he's-
well, it's a maybe.
He's like more powerful than Yoda, and Yoda was like probably one of the most powerful Jedi before the fix, and now like he's better than Yoda.
Yeah. Oh, 100. And he's only 155.
Yeah, and he's cheaper.
All right, Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan.
Kenobi.
So,
why did they do him so dirty?
The Jesus of Star Wars
The Jesus of
Just-
Star Wars.
says we don't believe.
Space
Why?
bum.
We don't
He's a
believe
space
in you,
bum.
Jesus.
The
Yeah.
space bum.
So
Why? Why did they do him so dirty?
they did him so dirty? All right. So pretty
Like,
much
who hated it? Obi-Wan. For years, people are, since I started the game, people said Obi-Wan sucked. Obi-Wan sucks. Obi-Wan sucks. We get to LVO. We're in the car. Obi-Wan sucks. They need to do this to fix him. He wins LVO. All right. They're like, oh, Obi-Wan's finally doing good.
They nerfed him to the ground.
No, can't have this.
I'm telling you, there's some AMG bias right here. We're looking at the bias.
They
right
hate
here.
Obi-Wan.
They hate Obi-Wan. That's what it is. So let's talk about the change. He's got all the stuff. Nothing's really changed about him except for two things. One, he went down in points. He's now 150 instead of 170. And the Guardian 3, the way Guardian works now, and Sorcery Mastery changed. Sorry.
Well, that's the important part.
That is the important part. So Sorcery Mastery reads, when a unit with Sorcery Mastery is defending against a range attack, it may reroll all of its defense dice during the reroll defense dice step. Additionally, when a unit with the Sorcery is using the Guardian X keyword, it may spend 1 dodge token before converting any surge results. If it does, it rerolls all of its defense dice before converting surge's results. Each die cannot be rerolled more than once using Sorcery Mastery.
So the issue with him is basically that he just, like, they tried to do that so he survives better, but it just makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you can't dodge hits anymore, right? You can't dodge Guardian hits anymore. And so now he's just more likely to die. It's just simple as that. So, I don't know.
Well, he could still spin a dodge token, right? During the Guardian X keyword.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just that the way Guardian works
against high velocity still?
I don't think high velocity, no.
So they did nerf that. That's what they nerfed, sorry.
Yeah.
Sure.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, because that was one of his, that was the Saresu trick.
Yeah, and I think they got rid of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
that was
did.
the old rules. But yeah, the way I feel about this is that if you roll horribly, you reroll.
You can reroll. That's my upside as
yeah,
well.
but if you got a majority of blocks over blanks.
Yeah,
like,
you
only
reroll if you get 1 out of 3.
Exactly.
If you get 2 out of 3, you keep it. If you get 3 out of 3, well, no, of course you're gonna keep it.
And what's most important is that the way Guardian works is that he doesn't get backup, right?
Right. That's why why I think he's so bad now. Is because he doesn't get backup.
Yeah.
And backup is huge for survivability on any hero in this game right now.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get that. So he just is so much easier to kill than everyone else. And already Guardian meant, okay, maybe it's better to attack the person with Guardian. But now it's like, of course you attack him. And you may take a deflect wound, but if you're doing wounds on Obi, you're in a great spot. So I just,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
They did him dirty. It's unfortunate.
Which sucks. He's the best Jedi there ever was and never will be. But
yeah,
I contest.
He killed Moss, which definitely makes him the best Jedi.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
He killed Maul like 4 times. He's so good at it.
Yeah, he's so legendary. I love it. And he killed Grievous. He just killed shit. He killed pretty much lamed Anakin. Like, he should be the one that's in tier 0.
Oh yeah.
But people are just haters.
Yeah.
So any more comments on Obi-Wan, Jose?
Did any of his cards change?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No.
Obi's Obi. There's gonna be somebody who uses him to a good effect. The re-rolling of it, like I've done that before. Like let me Guardian these 3 hits real quick. Oh, look at that! He takes all 3 wounds. So I don't mind that. I mean, getting a second chance at a re-roll on red dice is, the results can't be all bad again. Well, they can, but not realistically.
The biggest issue with Obi is he was kind of, before he was a compounding factor. This is somebody that horribly lost to Obi at Worlds, right? Like, the reason he's so good is because there was so much defensive tech in Gar, and he just compounded that into, like, you can't kill any of my minis. Good luck. Right? Yeah. Like, and that's something that just doesn't happen anymore, because all that defensive tech is gone. Right? You don't have the Padme running around. You don't have all the dodges for free anymore. And so that's gone. He's easier to kill than everyone else around him. It's just so he's just in a not great spot, is my thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
Oh, force multiplier. That was the word I was looking for, not compounding factor. But yeah.
Moving on to R2D2. So the things that changed about him, everything's pretty much the same, but he gained infiltrate and lost grounded. And I think those are pretty good changes.
What did grounded do?
You
can't
were able
jump.
to climb or clamber.
Yeah, you can go over stuff.
Yeah. And he's got infiltrate, but I don't know. I feel like you don't take him anymore unless you're running vehicles.
Again, he's a free victory point. You were paying 55 points to get a victory point. That's what he does.
Yeah, but he's worse than Padme. Like I feel like
Yeah.
you take Padme over him.
Speed 1 unless you got to take his command card.
Your guys' biggest issue with him or with Padme is that she was too easy to kill. Well, he is inconspicuous, which makes him impossible to kill because you can't shoot him.
Sure, but he can't shoot him if there's another.
If you split fire, you can.
No, you can't.
No. So it's only if another unit is around him. If he's all on his own, he's getting shot off the board.
Oh no, not split fire. Hans car yeah, gunslinger, you can hit him because gunslinger, yes, this was already ruled in forums. You make your first attack on one unit, and the second attack has to select an eligible unit. If R2 is the only eligible unit, you can attack R2. Now, if you had two
that's not what you just said.
So if you had 2 units by R2, then gunslinger, he would have to gunsling the other unit.
Right. Okay. So yeah. Of course that works. You made it sound like just by gunslinging you could start attacking R2.
No, you shoot the unit by him first, and then R2 would be the second unit.
Yeah, I mean, he's fine. Again, him and Padme, he's worse than Padme. He's basically the same cost, and he gets repaired. I mean, repair 2 capacity 2 is not terrible.
Right. Yeah,
if you're running vehicles,
you bring him to repair for vehicles. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah,
he's just gonna be a repair droid at that point.
Not much to say there. People will bring Padme for the secret mission, and they will win games off of it. Will they do it a lot? Who knows?
In a 5-turn game, you're gonna squeeze in his 1 pip, because that's the only way he'll make it. He's speed 1.
Can only Rebel R2 get C3PO? Because I'm not seeing a spot for C3PO here.
No, Gara R2 should have it.
So then you're fine. Just bring C3PO. You don't need the 1 pip. I think it's a counterpart, and the card like C3PO didn't change, so they didn't put his card here. So just literally
so the 1 pip does is makes him speed 2.
No, I get that, but you can get there with speed 1.
Yeah, but honestly, like, would you spend? I don't know. I wouldn't spend the points unless if I'm wanting to use him to repair something.
That's what I feel like. I feel like he's just a repair guy now.
I'd rather put in like a whole nother unit than
a clone commander.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that 1 victory point could matter, but I would.
Adding 3PO, he's now 70 points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be like a whole ARC squad or a whole like core unit. That's better.
And if you're bringing C3PO, you might as well be calculating odds on your clones and giving them aims and dodges. So there's no point in.
I mean, hot take. Maybe you bring them with C3PO and you distract. Maybe that will be significant in some manner.
I don't know. I think he's worth bringing.
You could distract for Anakin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what? It might be a good combo. If he's already like almost dead or something like that, you could distract, and then he'll get shot at, and then it'll proc Anakin's tempted.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
Yeah, could do a little combo there.
Clone Trooper Infantry.
Yeah. So the thing about Clone Trooper Infantry is that they took phase 1s and phase 2s and they smashed them together. There are no more phase 2s in the game. And what they have now is they cost 56 points, which is, I guess, a kind of good middle ground between the two. They have reliable one. They lost fire support. They have courage 2. And they have a new upgrade, which is, I believe, called the leader upgrade.
Captain.
Captain. They also gained. Well, no, they get the what's that? It's not a train. Yeah, training slot now.
Yeah, they have a training, a gear, and a grenade. So they're just basic.
So they
they have one of everything.
Pretty much, they're more expensive now, but they're phase 1s and phase 2s put together.
They can't get DC-15s, which kind of sucks. But I think they're solid
next year.
Well, a different squad will get it. These will never have it again.
Yeah.
But I think they're solid. They're probably the best core in the game right now.
No, I agree.
Reliable 1 is insanely good because it means you have red defense or surging red defense dice, which is really good right now. So
I think it's great because the biggest thing that I've had, like, I think the thing I hated the most is that everybody always had to bring the phase 1s because they were cheaper, but you could never bring phase 2 upgrades. And I like that they smacked them together because now it's all one unit. So now you can use your phase 2s. You can use a mortar now. Like, it's all like one unit instead of being separated like it was.
Yeah, they seem a lot better. I like it. Essentially, now you're taking phase 2s for cheaper, in my opinion. That's what this is.
Yeah.
You got a staple. What is it? The Sentinel command card or Sentinel card on them now for that free free order. Yeah, because fire support now.
They don't have fire support.
Yeah, they don't have fire support anymore. So fire.
Oh, they lost that keyword.
They lost.
Yeah, it's gone.
Fire support now is whenever they're gaining an order, they get a standby. Correct?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like the Overwatch.
No, they don't have it. So yeah, I think the most interesting thing, core or trooper wise, is the arc change.
Yeah. Let's go over that.
Yeah. Do you think they're okay? Maybe you should say what they do first.
Okay. Yeah. So this is, in my opinion, ridiculous. So
58 points
are 58 points instead of 66. They gained charge. They gained scale.
They had that already, didn't they?
No, they didn't have scale.
No.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now the only gun they have is the DC-17 hand blaster, which is
the range 2.
Yep, 2 blacks instead of a black and a white. But you can also use it in melee. And they have the captain icon, and they gained. I think that's it.
Oh, I didn't realize they had the captain. Can they only use Echo though, or can they use other captains?
I assume other captains, unless I'll go over those changes right now. Actually,
if you had tabletop admiral up, you could let us know right away.
I think you can use like 5s Echo. I think that's about it.
I mean, that means you could use 5s now. You couldn't use 5s before.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you could. You could still use them.
Oh, you could?
Yeah, it was just a glitch in Legion HQ for some reason.
That you couldn't?
Yeah, once they added Bad Batch, it messed it up.
I thought that was Echo.
No, you can run them.
No, you can run 5 and
interesting. Echo. I've literally never seen anyone run 5s in an Orcs before.
Yeah, because it's always better.
Because 5s would be in your core unit.
Yeah,
it's better in your core unit.
So you could actually take the clone commander upgrade and the clone captain upgrade in your arcs.
Nice.
It used to be the same spot.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the arcs?
I think they're good.
I'd say.
Just being able to scout onto the board and then they get an aim from the scout. You move again, you get another aim. You can still shoot.
But at range 2, basically, which is, I mean, you could do the range 5.
Yeah, so it depends. It's very situational, but I mean, if you're playing a map that has POIs at your opponent in the middle and they're also coming at you, like it's crazy for 8 dice. Like 2 aims.
And
And
token
then
tearing.
and then they have sharpshooter, so like you can annihilate at least light cover or get to light cover, and then also even if they don't use those aims, you can still share them with like range 3 core or something else.
Yeah, it's important to note too, like since the new changes to the movement tool, there's always going to be a movement of the exact range. So if there's something on the table exactly range 4 from the edge, you can get there in 2 moves and shoot. Yeah, it's so good. And they got cheaper. That's for dark
and they're
things.
cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, so they've put a lot of point value to higher range bands now. I don't know if you noticed that, but that's why like shores are so much more expensive even now, or I guess the same price. But like they put a lot of value on having that higher or farther ranges. So,
but I don't know if they calculated like how quickly these guys can move. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
And especially if you take the detachment with the strike team, they still get scout 2. They still have a range 4 shot. Like they still get 2 aims. Like,
and they can share the aims. Like,
they can share the aims if they don't shoot. Like it's really good.
Yeah, they just got a whole lot better. Our troopers strike teams, nothing really changed other than the detachment. Our troopers now, meaning you have to bring a full squad before you can take a strike team. I don't think anything else has really changed. You can't, well, I guess Echo is a heavy unit, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
can still do Echo.
technically, in our troopers, you can have Echo and 5s in the same unit.
Are you sure?
Yeah, because you do the leader for 5s and then the heavy weapons Echo.
That would be pretty sick.
That'd be nuts.
That would be fun. Any more thoughts on the OP boys?
The OP boys.
No, I just think they're solid.
Yeah,
they're good. Yeah.
Moving on, we got the Saber Tank. The Saber Tank went down 5 points. It gained 2 missiles, upgraded armaments, and now surges to hit. Its blasters, this looks like to be the same. Its weak points is the same. It's got outmaneuver, hover ground, arson 2, and armor 5. So I think that's good. Not
free Ayla, a free Ayla. That's all that was.
Yeah, sure. Doesn't really do much. I mean, it surges to hit, which is nice.
Yeah, the search is a pretty good change. I mean, armor is in a weird spot right now. I think the Saber Tank is in a good spot amongst all the armor things. So I think we just need to see it on the battlefield and then make decisions from there, because I don't know right now.
Yeah, I know. They said on the podcast too, like the reason they took fire support out was to give unit surge to hit. So like removing fire support from the clones was able to give the tank surge to hit. So I think it was.
They could have just given it surge to hit and kept fire support, but yeah.
Oh, that'd be too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with a tank.
Yeah. Moving on from that, the lat. The only thing that I see that changed is now shoots 2. It has 2 missile armaments.
Can't transport.
The new transport is just garbage.
It's just trash. Don't even talk about that.
It's got armor 5
garbage
instead of full armor, so it's 2 reds and 2 blacks now, and it has impact 1 natively on this gun now.
Yeah, it's just
it's
not worth bringing.
Yeah,
the flying garbage can.
It's just a distraction, basically.
It's expensive for it. I'll put it this way. It's about 66% of the cost of an Anakin.
Can I point out something real quick?
Realistically, half the cost of a fully kitted out Anakin, but still.
I'm jumping the armor gun here, but like a dude on an ATRT in the clones has red saves. This flying helicopter This
White
massive
surging.
helicopter, white surging saves. They couldn't give it red saves.
red.
Here.
Yeah.
Keep
Did
the
you-
RTs with white. Give the lat needed something to make it somewhat viable. You got rid of transport. Give it red saves. Come on now.
I was gonna say, did you hear in the stream why they gave the Republic red save and the Rebels white?
It's gonna be a dumb answer, I bet.
They literally said it's because the guy writing it is a clone, and that's why he gets a red save.
I mean, they're not wrong, right?
And that's the only reason why it got a red save is because there's a clone riding it with armor. And that's why the Republic or the Rebel one has a white save.
So because there's a clone on it is why it has scout as well.
Let's just skip to the ATRT then, right? Armor 2,
Yeah.
climbing vehicle, expert climber, scout. The gun is still whatever. You still get the rocket launcher thing. Not rocket launcher. Is it 5 black? What you would know, Jose?
The rocket launcher's 3 white, critical 1.
No. The gun.
Gatling gun?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's 5 black. And it was just surging to hit before. And then you had your flamer, which was black, white, sprays, and then you had your little ion missile cannon thing, which was 2 red, no, two black and a red, or 2 red and black, something like that.
I'm surprised I haven't seen any on the table yet, because it seems like that Gatling gun ATRT for like 90 points, solid.
The stock went up with the new rules. The scout,
Yeah.
Give me a flamethrower all day. Bring these fat chunky squads to me. I'm gonna light your ass up turn 1.
I mean, I don't even think you need the flamethrower. Like, just armor 2, 6 health red saves, just really solid right now. So I just think it's in a really good spot.
Awesome for Cody. Awesome for Cody.
Oh yeah, awesome for Cody for sure.
It looks like the fluttercraft for the Wookiee defenders, nothing changed.
They didn't change nothing to the battle force lists. At least that I know.
Well, why is it here then if it didn't change? Because I don't know enough about it.
I don't see anything changed on it. I mean, maybe certain keywords have changed.
Maybe.
Like
the thing
reposition has changed.
They didn't change the actual fluttercraft. You can still use the old card for a fluttercraft. It's just this one's specific
keywords
to the battle force.
I mean, I could be wrong, and I probably am, but I feel like some of these things that are on here that are changed are just changed. I don't know, because they're giving us new stuff to look at. Because like when I'm looking at this fluttercraft, the only thing that's changed is reposition, where you can now reposition before a move and after a move.
Yeah, you can, like I said, you can still use the other fluttercraft in a non battle force. So technically, you can still run the old fluttercraft card.
Yeah. Fluttercraft is trash.
Moving on to some command cards. Leader of the 501st is now at range 2.
Where it should have been the whole time.
Should have been.
What was it before?
Within.
Oh, yikes!
Yeah.
The whole ball had to be like. Yeah. It was basically only good if you had wounded units that can actually fulfill that.
Yeah, leaders is good. Tactical planning is whatever. I mean, returning tokens in is a pretty solid, but I don't know. You don't get an order on Anakin with it, which is kind of sketchy.
It is also hard if you're giving those to ARC troopers that shoot at range 2. You'd have to be really close.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I not seeing the 1 pip for them?
Lead from the front, really good. When building a command hand, treat this card as though it has 2 pips. It's a 1 pip. So you can have 3 1 pips in 501st.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a friendly commander is issued an order, choose 3 friendly units at 1 of the commander, and they gain a name or a dodge. So it's basically Anakin's 3 pip. Except it's a 1 pip, and you only Anakin gets the order.
So remember how we were talking about alpha striking? You could technically play this turn 1, have all your arcs get an aim and a dodge before they even move. Now they scout and they move. That's 3 aims and 1 dodge.
Yep.
It's better than General Skywalker.
And
It's the same as General Skywalker. How
No,
is it?
because you could choose. It's to
Because you could choose a
Anakin.
dodge, right? Is that why it's better?
Oh, it's or. I thought you could aim and a dodge.
No, or
Oh, that'd be busted, dude.
I still think
I
it's
would-
better because you get to give it
Nah.
to 3 arcs instead of 2 arcs.
sure.
So you,
Sure.
yeah, so it's better alpha striking in my opinion.
I think General Skywalker is better at it for round 1 because you want to go last. But I
Sure.
see where you're coming from.
Sure. Yeah, that's what changed. That's really good. Moving on.
Call Me Captain is just reworded so that it works now because fire support doesn't exist anymore. So now Rex is the only thing that can fire support basically with that one card.
Yeah.
Size matters sometimes. I don't know what actually changed with this. It looks the same.
Let's find out. Let me see.
it was I think it was the range. They had to change the range.
Was it within 1 instead of at 1?
I think it's 2 now.
No, it's still 1.
Still one.
Is it?
May if you do, you're gonna cannot remove, then after the content. Yeah, I think it's just cleaning up the card because now
yeah.
pretty much. We went over diplomatic cover.
Yeah.
And I think
I think as like a sort of wrap up, like if we put everything together, clones have the clone trooper keyword is in a really good spot right now, I would argue. Clones are super solid as a cohesive unit. They all work together, which feels great. And I think it's one of the best factions right now, especially 501st. You get all those arcs out there. You get Anakin. They can have commandos in the 501st. It's just solid.
I think they're the best, like a top tier right now, in my opinion.
I think that's one of I think it's probably like that and EXT are the top lists in the game right now.
Yeah.
So
well, let's go over the upgrades real quick. Some new upgrades they have.
I forgot we were gonna do that.
So Clone Trooper, so the DP-23 Clone Trooper is now for infantry, obviously. It rolls 2 reds. I think that was the same for
I don't so that didn't change. The Z6 didn't change. RPS didn't change.
Well, no, the shotgun did change. It's in melee.
You can do melee.
Oh, okay.
Because dude, you can do a full unit and then add 5s and then add the shotgun and then just throw a bucket of dice with Pierce.
And it's 2 red. It used to be 2 blacks and a white.
Yeah, it wasn't
The
red at all.
DP-23 was? Oh.
Yeah, shotgun's nasty now. Shotgun's
Yeah, no,
nasty.
that's really good for red dice. Yeah,
it's 2 more points. It used to be 20 points, now it's 22. The Z6, just cleaning up that.
As a sort of aside, they did a good job of putting all of the like all the heavy weapons within a faction to being about the same price. Like instead of there being a 16 point and a 23 point, now it's like 22, 22, 23, 20. It's a really good difference. But anyways.
The Z6 is the same. This is where
RPS doesn't tap anymore, which is nice, but it still is cumbersome.
it never actually tapped. It just had cumbersome.
Yeah.
There's never tapped. Jeez, they had the better rocket launcher then. What the heck?
It's now 2 more points extra. Which sucks because now the B1's rockets is cumbersome, which is stupid.
Yeah.
The Magnus rockets needs to be cumbersome now.
Let's see here. The mortar now is for the clone marksman and clone infantry. Looks to be the same.
Yep. 2 dice, critical 1, suppressive.
It's so stupid.
It's 2 more points.
It's so stupid that little ass mortar.
It's a mortar. You have to set it on the ground to shoot it. Of course, it is cumbersome.
It's not like an Empire mortar where they're carrying the literal mortar from the 8.
Yes, they are. It is it is still a mortar. It doesn't matter if it's massive.
God,
it's a mortar.
I mean, you can still shoot and then move, so it's not that bad.
Yeah,
I'm a mortar fan, but I hate that it's cumbersome.
Looks like Echo went up significantly. Used to be 42.
Yeah, all the snipers went up.
Yep,
because small pierce pulls are good now.
On
the extra
arcs,
unit-
that gives them reliable 2 now. Or sorry, not on arcs, on the phase 2s or clone trooper infantry. I can speak.
Infantry.
Yeah, the infantry would now get reliable 2, which is interesting.
What is reliable?
Yeah. Yeah. it
Well,
would
because
be.
Echo's reliable 1 plus reliable 1 is reliable 2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks like the extra guy you can put in is now 13 points, which is the same as the phase 2, so nothing really changed there.
And just to add to that real quick, what I was saying is it's better to do it now because small dice pools aren't as bad anymore, right? Like 2 red is no longer you get nothing if you right because of heavy cover. So
Yeah.
But anyways,
It looks like the cost to double your squad from add 5 clone troopers is 56 points, which probably
Yeah. It's
Fair.
pretty expensive.
I don't
Well,
know. Like
it's-
if you
no.
think about it, yeah, it's what 50. What did we say?
you get a dude for free because a normal squad is 56.
Yeah,
This one is 56, and you get 5 instead of 4.
yeah, it's like 10 times better. Not 10
So
times better, but
buy 8, get 1 free.
exactly. The clone comms tech has changed now. Instead
Fire
of the
support, there it is.
yep, you get fire support.
30 points for fire support. 30. That's insane. Oh my God.
It used to be 11 points, now it's 30. I lost the comms upgrade. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
The
I
clone
don't know.
I'm
medic,
gonna
Buy
put that.
castles.
the clone medic went up 2 points. That's about it.
Lame.
The
Still
clone
good.
engineer
Still worth
went up,
bringing.
went up 3 points.
Still probably worth bringing.
Let's see. This clone specialist. There's a
Aim,
clone.
dodge, or surge. 17 points.
I feel like these points changes are just there because they gave us 200 points, so they want to just jack stuff up, just so you don't really get the 200.
Yeah, it's called inflation, Jose. Come on.
Oh, trust me, I live in California. I know about inflation.
I think they did it because they smashed phase 2 and phase 1 together.
Yep.
So now you can
Yeah.
use all your phase 2 upgrades for the
Phase
same
1.
unit.
Yeah, because this went up 6 points. Boyle's now a captain upgrade. I
Solid.
Boyle's
Guardian
dope.
1, Scout 1, solid.
Yep, Boyle went up 5 points.
Now you take Waxer now for the scout.
Discipline is also a nice keyword. For the same price.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think you still take Boyle over Waxer most of the time.
Well,
No,
can
but you
take
could take Waxer in another group and just have
Yeah.
another group of scout.
because
Fair.
they went up only 5 points.
Nobody was playing Waxer, period. Now with the rules changes and scout stocks going up, you get an
Okay.
extra body and you get to bring Waxer.
I mean, you're paying an additional 15 points for that scout over just bringing recon intel. So I don't know. I mean, you can do both. You can put recon intel and bring Waxer and have scout too, which is nice.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Fives is now a clone
best.
captain.
The best leader. He's insane.
Yep. And
Charge, coordinate, three black and melee. Insane.
that is
Him with the
pretty good.
shotgun, baby. Him with the shotgun.
Oh yeah.
Double move, get off my lawn.
Can you add
in
him
a
to-
double squad?
No, dude, you add him to Arc's already get charged, so they don't need that. So yeah. In a double
Yeah.
squad, geez, that's terrifying.
Double squad with fives and a freaking and the shotgun, dude. And
Yeah.
it's a stupid amount of points, but you're deleting. I would say you're deleting almost every normal size unit, and you're chunking.
I mean,
big
for
unit.
that, I mean, that's probably let me do the math on that. Like that's insane price.
No
though.
math. No. We were doing fine without the math before you got back, Rob. No math.
Let's see. So
feel
I'm not doing the math personally. I'm just going to the website. Let's see.
Well, and I was gonna say like you could do fives in a big unit with a Z6 and a medic, and that's still like that's a lot of dice too.
Yeah, but it's the charge. You get to go into something that's already gone, and if you don't outright kill it, you're still bubble wrapped.
All right.
It's expensive. Don't think I'm saying it's cheap. It's expensive.
Oh yeah,
Alright.
no, it's super expensive.
So all right. I'm trying to see. So for the same price, you can get Anakin. Just to put into perspective of how expensive it is.
I mean, if you're running like a clone, just a standard clone ball with no force user, that's always been a thing. Like if you're running Rex and Cody, or having that chunk squad is a great linebacker unit.
Yeah, I could see that.
Definitely.
So the clone commander just went up 4 points. The clone captain, however, you lose the training slot and being suppressed, but you get outmaneuvered and defend 1. That's pretty good.
Defend
solid.
1 is pretty cool. Yeah.
But it
Especially
went
on-
up. It went up 10 points.
That's fine. Outmaneuver and defend 1 are solid.
On a red save, token
Yeah.
sharing.
Yeah, token sharing especially.
Let's see. Clone Commander Fox.
Trash. He's a transport.
Yeah,
Transport.
he's a lot.
Gain a surge
Yeah.
token. Why do they think? I mean, clones getting surges is nice, but man, I
You
don't
can
know.
move 1 suppression.
You have to bring a lot.
They should have discontinued the lat and put all the pilots as saber pilots.
There you go.
That would work.
The clone shock trooper pilot looks like when this unit performs an attack action, after the action resolved, choose 1 friendly unit. Its unit gains 1 surge token.
Yeah, I don't know what the point of that is, other than that it's only 4 points versus 10.
I think they had to change it because of all the wording. So it's just
Right.
like, let's change it all.
Yeah.
Dude, I just thought about this. I'm gonna remember my old Surge clone ball list.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna try to redo that and see how far I can push that.
Mm.
'Cause I was averaging like 10 to 12 surges every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Um,
crazy.
So it was crazy. JR was like, "How are you doing this?" I'm like, "It's a lot of work, man."
Looks like
I was running
Bart-
6 phase 2s. Dude, 6 phase 2s.
It looks like
Jesus.
the Bark Ion gun lost its tap like they all did. So that's
Good.
nice.
it went up 2 points and it got critical 1.
Yeah, it's a really good weapon now. And then
Favorite change is this infantry platform pilot.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So whenever you perform an attack action after the action is resolved, each defending unit gains 1 observation.
Run that beam gun, 3 observations
Hell
out.
yeah.
That sounds like infantry support to me.
Mhm. Yeah, those were the changes. I guess we should go over point cost, right?
Nah.
You guys,
I think we just make some hot takes and call it a pod.
let me go over real quick. There's not much. Bark speeders went up 10 points. The twin beam cannon, let's see here. It used to be 25, it is now 30, so it went up 5 points. And the DC-15 went up to 37 points, which used to be, what did it used to be? 31 points, so it went up 6 points.
Tax for the sake of tax, man.
Oof, that's been a long podcast, so everybody give me your takes. What do you think about these guys now?
Go,
right,
John.
all
You're the
right,
guest.
well,
John's the
yeah.
guest.
Yeah, we'll go to John first, but we're gonna do a tier from S to F. Go for it, John.
I think with the changes, I think they did a solid change. So I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say S tier. I think I'm gonna say A, high A.
Okay. All right, Jose, what do you think?
I'm still in the toss up between them, not including battle forces. So take this as that. I still don't know who's better between GAR and CIS. I think they're both up there compared to the bottom factions. They're both up there. I think we're gonna need a couple major events to see where they land, because at that point then you can have the 501st versus EXD discussion. But flatly right now, I think it's really close, but I would say both of them are. I gave CIS an A, so I would put GAR as an A.
All right, Rob.
You only gave CAS an A? That's wild.
I give him a low A. With the two
So I wasn't here the previous 2 weeks, so I'm just gonna give you my takes on those, and then rank this in comparison. I think Rebels are just straight garbage right now, unfortunately. They relied on being tricksy, and the tricks are all gone. So they're, unless something drastically changes there, I think they're going to stay in the bottom tier. CIS, I think, is really, really strong right now. I would say probably the strongest faction, particularly EXD, is still insane. And I think Republic is able to be there right with them. I think that if we're not doing S tier because Jose hates S tier, then
I don't hate S tier. I just don't know yet.
I'd give both of these the A tier.
So my question for you real quick is your high rating of CIS, is that because of EXD, or is that just a flat, if EXD didn't exist, you're still putting them up there with Gar?
A good portion is because of EXD.
Okay, cool.
But I do think just normal CIS is in a good spot right now.
Yep.
Because it's so cheap to get double squads. Dooku's better than he was before. Even Grievous is playable now, though. Maybe
Grievous
that's
looks fun.
That might be an exaggeration. I think Grievous is still not in a great spot. All they needed to do, 2, turn it into a 3. He'd be great. But they didn't, so he's now questionably playable. And they have B2s, which are really strong, and you can double them up, which is really good. So I think CIS is in a really solid spot. Geos are really good. Like, everything in CIS is solid. And maybe not everything, but as a faction, it's solid. And I think Republic, it's kind of the same situation where I'm like, I know the 501st is going to be really, really good. Normal Gar, I'm not so sure. Like, I think it's okay. And then you have 501st, which is super solid S tier. So, like, maybe if we just put EXD and 501st in the S tier, we put these two normal factions in A tier, and I'll be happy, I think.
I'm putting them in S tier. They just, what they want to do, they just do better. And like the Alpha striking, in my opinion, is better with them. Anakin is just so much better. Like, I feel like you have to take Anakin every time. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I definitely think that they suffer from that. Like he's the best thing in the faction by a mile.
Yeah. It's like you come up with a list around him, essentially.
Every single list.
Yeah. And it's just, man, I just think Red Saves armies are just too cheap for what they do.
Well, I don't think it has to do with the saves. I think it has to do with their offensive power in comparison to their costs and their defensive abilities.
That they have the offensive to back up their defensive, right?
Right, but it's not the saves that are making clones so good. It's Anakin and it's their offense, right? Those arcs, once they get in range, are going to murder you. The saves are helping them get in range better than the white save armies. Is the big difference.
Sure. Yeah, that's my opinion. But all right, boys. Anybody else out there watching that made it to the whole thing? Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate your support. We'll catch you guys next time.
I feel like we should have a catchphrase or something for the people that made it this far. Like, who's still listening this deep in?
Probably me at work.
so John at work, thank you for listening to this long of a podcast. To Jose's coworkers, if you're still here, thank you for listening.
One of my buddies,
everyone else.
One of my buddies works in an automotive shop for BMW in Connecticut, and he plays this like for the shop. Fun. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
So shout out to Connecticut, apparently.
All right.
I'm sure you don't say it shit like the people from Ohio say about Ohio. So honestly, Connecticut seems really nice. Like, every picture I've seen of it is green, and that just seems nice. But
yeah, we don't got fire going on all the time.
Shout out to Peter in Connecticut.
Yeah.
Peter.
All right, boys. Let's go get some shut eye.
Yeah, for real.
Later.